Well, I got a cool package in the mail. This is C3i magazine number 35 from Roger McGowan's RBM Studio. Nice magazine. A lot of content here. This is available, I believe it's already shipping. You got 67 pages of content here. And I won't go through everything in this magazine because, well, you got to buy the magazine yourself. But what you got here is a ton of articles. There's articles on Atlantic Chase, Kursk 43, the game from last issue. Here's a new look at Contact Now Red Eclipse. This is Steve Overton's game that's been long anticipated. It's got a new publisher now. You need to check that article out. We got a nice tribute to John Hill, memory of John Hill and Chad Jensen. Ethics in Gaming. This is a great article, by the way. Got some content for Flying Colors and also for SPQR. Some good stuff here. And another variant for Normandy 44. This time it's the Canadians. The Canadians are the heroes. Anything written by Rob Bottos has got to have the Canadians as the heroes. So get out your Maple Leafs. Read that article. Got some cool new content in the form of a new game. There's been a new game, I think, in every issue of C3i in recent memory, going back to, I think, at least number 29. And this one's no different. This has got Mark Herman's new game, Burma, which is not really a new game per se. It's really Empire of the Sun, but it's a slice of Empire of the Sun. You got a 36-page rulebook, which is a little hefty for a magazine game, but it really is the rulebook for Empire of the Sun. But you're not going to need everything from the 36 pages to play this particular scenario. It's just included in there as a way for you to be familiar with all of the rules of Empire of the Sun. And the scenario touches on a lot of those issues in the that you're going to find in the rulebook, but you don't need everything in the rulebook to play the scenario. It's a great way to learn Empire of the Sun if you've been wanting to get into that game and maybe you're intimidated by it. Definitely want to check out Burma. He did one, I forget which issue it was in, but Mark Herman did another one that was, I think, included in the more recent edition of Empire of the Sun called South Pacific, and that was just on the Solomon Islands area. This one focuses on the CBI, the China, Burma, India front. Always the counter sheets are a pleasure to go over because you get some cool new goodies in here. First of all, we got all the counters you need to play the Burma scenario for Empire of the Sun. Which is, again, let me emphasize this, it is a standalone game that you're getting with this. So all the pieces you need for that and the counters are going to be printed with the correct setups for that scenario. So, I mean, if you tried to play this scenario with your Empire of the Sun, setup would take a lot longer because you'd have to find all the pieces, figure out the setups. With this case, it's all printed on those pieces. Got a couple errata pieces for Atlantic Chase. There's a new piece for, actually several pieces for Flying Colors. There's two new scenarios in here involving, I think, British and American. And so here are the rest of those ships there. There's some in irons. If it said in chains, I would have laughed my head off because that seems to be the error that would always show up in Flying Colors. But anyways, you got some more in irons counters to mark when your ships are in irons. Pendragon Imperium marker. I'd forgotten that this thing was missing all this time, but nice to see that included now. If you are a Pendragon player, you've got that marker in this issue. There's some Men of Iron tri-pack errata counters, and I regret to say I haven't even punched mine to look at it, so I didn't even know there was errata, but there you go. Most recent edition of SPQR apparently had some errata in it as well, which I was unfamiliar with, and so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 errata pieces for that. And then there is the CPQR scenario I have been waiting for like 20 years, and that is Lake Trasimene finally makes it into a GBOH format. So if you want to play this really cool battle along the shores of Lake Trasimene, you can now do so with this edition. So you have the pieces that you need. There's 2, 4, 6, 8 pieces to play that scenario included in this. And there's also a full map for it included in this issue. We'll look at that in just a sec. Time for Trumpets. Dang, I haven't even punched mine. But there's errata counters for it. And then the rest of this is for a Solitaire game. This is for the Teutoburg Forest Solitaire game included in this new edition, or this new issue of C3i. So here is your Burma map. It is just an 11 by 17 paper, because this is a magazine, right? So no mounted board, but who needs a mounted board when it's only 11 by 17? You only got one fold to deal with there, and everything you need to play that right there on the table. Great little scenario. Can't wait to play that one. Lake Trasimene, as I said, this is the SPQR scenario I've been waiting for a long time. It's got the simple GBOH as well as the SPQR rules in this little rule booklet, and then here's a look at what the map will look like. I'm not going to unfold it because I don't have any space to do so, but there's your setup of what it's going to look like, and that is going to be fun to set up and play. Last but not least, let's look at the Roman disaster at Teutoburg. You are Publius Quintilius Varus, governor of the province of Germania. For 3 days now, rebel Germanic tribesmen have been attacking your 3 marching columns. Will your military command expertise, along with the help of your legates and centurions, be enough to escape this latest ambush? So there you go. It's a Solitaire game. All the rules that you need are right here. Playing surfaces here. Playing pieces are on the sheet. Fun stuff. So they had one, I think in the last issue, there was from the same designer, there was a little Solitaire game just like this, and it involved Vietnam. I think it was an attack on a fire base in Vietnam. And just a few pieces, but a quite engaging little Solitaire game. I said last but not least, but let me just show you. Here are the cards for the Empire of the Sun, or Burma game. I should call it the Burma game. But all the cards that you need are included in here. You just got to kind of punch them out or cut them out. They are perforated, and you can just put those in the sleeves if that's your fancy. Otherwise, these are thick enough. They should shuffle just fine. At least they did with the South Pacific game. But there you go. Quite a lot of neat stuff here in C3i Magazine, issue number 35. I think it retails for like $45, but you're getting a ton of content here, especially if you own SPQR and you're a GBOH player. I would buy the magazine just for the Teutoburg Forest scenario. I really would. And then if you play Empire of the Sun, this is a great way to get into that, and a Solitaire game to boot. I don't see how you can beat that. So there you go. C3i issue number 35. Looking forward to diving into this some more.